let's move on to Friday slate. We're going to move to Omaha, Nebraska, CenturyLink Arena, Oklahoma State against Oregon in the West region. And here's a game where the point spread moved from one team being favored to the other. Oklahoma State opened 1-point favorite with a total of 137. Now you got Oregon, a 1.5-point favorite. This Oregon team, 25 wins on the year, playing very good basketball, 7-1 straight up and ATS run. They're also 13-3 the last 16 games. They beat number 17th Utah in the Pac-12 tourney, which is the good, 67-64. But the bad was the next game against Arizona, where they got flattened 80-52. So Jeff, you got a team here that's 19-9-1 in non-conference competition. That's against the spread. So how do they match up with this Oklahoma State team?
I think they match up very well. They just couldn't beat Arizona this season. It's just one of those things. Arizona's a great team, but other than that, Oregon's covered 7 out of the last 8 games, as opposed to Oklahoma State. There's 1-6 straight up and against the spread their last 7. Oklahoma State got off to a decent start. They were overachieving there because they were playing better than people thought they were. Now they've come back to they've pretty much run out of gas, and another one of those teams you might want to avoid in this tournament, which I'm going to avoid. That 64-49 loss to Oklahoma was pretty bad. They shot 34.5% from the floor. Oregon had a 7-game winning streak snapped by Arizona, but that's just the way it goes. They just few teams are going to beat Arizona, and Arizona's probably going to go a long way in this tournament. But Oregon's 4-0 against the spread the last 4 games off a spread loss, 4-1 against the spread the last 5 NCAA tourney games. Joseph Young leads the team with a 20.2 points per game average. He makes 92% of his free throws. LeBron Nash averages 17.7 for the Cowboys, who are not a great shooting team. So now we have a Big 12 against the Pac-12, and as we've been saying all season here, and at least I've been saying, I think Zack too, that we think the Big 12 is pretty overrated here. And when you have teams going in different directions here, I'm gonna go with the Pac-12. I'm taking Oregon.
Yeah, this Oklahoma State team just not playing well of late. 1-6 run overall, and the lone tournament game they had, you mentioned, against Oklahoma, they were up in that game 26-21 at the half. They got smoked 43-23 second half run. They only shot 34% for the game, just 3 of 21 from long range. Last week we were talking about their inability to make very good adjustments, and we just saw another one against Oklahoma where they just got totally outplayed, blowing that to halftime lead and getting routed. They're also on a 7-3 run over the total. So, Zack, I kind of have some doubts about this team. They're also, Oklahoma State is 4-11 against the spread on a neutral court. How do you see them?
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I'm leaning on Oklahoma State on this one. I'm not very high in the Big 12. I'm not going to be, but this matchup here, I do like Oklahoma State. They have the senior leadership of Nash and then the young point guard there, I think forward maybe. I forget his last name, but I love value point guards in the tournament play, and guys like that you can lean on in a tight game. This should be a tight game. Joseph Young, he's a great. One thing I've noticed, the Pac-12 is not a defensive conference, so when you step outside of that conference, I think some teams are going to struggle, especially Oregon. They're just too young to me right now. They got a lot of talent, but Joe Young, there's been a few games this year where he's been the vocal point, and if you can trap him and defend him, the team bogs down. And I think Oklahoma State, they've got enough time to prepare for this game all the way on Friday, one of the later games at 3:30 start time. I'm sure they're going to have a good game plan to shut him down. And from there, your secondary player is Elgin Cook, who he's kind of sporadic, but I just have a feeling they're going to be able to shut Joe Young down a little bit and trap him and force him into some bad shots. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think that'll be a play that I actually play myself with Oklahoma State.
Well, got a hunch, you bet a bunch, as they say in Las Vegas. You guys are split on the game, so I'll break up the tie here. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. They just I'm going to go with Oregon. Oklahoma State just 8-11 in Big 12 play. They're on that slump, 1-6 straight up and against the spread. Not been a good team away from home this season, 3-9 record. Oregon playing pretty well, 13-3. The offense is 26 in the country in scoring, 75.6 points per game. Also would lean toward the coaching edge here with Altman against Ford, so I will lean toward the Oregon Ducks. All right, before we get to another Friday game, Michigan State against Georgia. If you want to go to the website, jimfeist.com, you can just click on that basketball in the lower left. That is a link to the website. Plus, if you want to subscribe to Jim Feist's YouTube page, it's called Sports Betting. Just click on the link above us. It's free, and you get updates each day about free picks as well as the newest Pro Line episodes.